Mr. Lynch lives only behind forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply. Or simply, 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 not age. It's April 11. Saremo de entender, dice, entender dice April 26, 2026, it's Saturday neighbors today I'm once again totally clear, yes. Richiede scattazione di effettivamente si riesce a conseguire di avete check better series but yes so very good on this point of view yes, and it's also seems now perhaps with the wine that I think consider being a light wine or vice versa in general it seems now and it's really not 13 and 12 minutes 66 and 2 Fahrenheit 19 Celsius it's really soft techniques soft adjective for the spring appearance support for SEO is because the effect the previous use of the effect work can previous what that's past summer last past last past winter now also for the spring work come and yes so all around the season complete the season will come free so the working I regard the spring radically only few days because you have a few weeks because of only a few weeks you enter in it besides 21 exactly 22 days ago sinceramente important to overcome them and then yes we will start to March 20 the spring winter unit in particular on 10 and 1 a.m. As a absolute no يوم في incorporate some more changes positive I'm sure try to the amazing season so it seems sense my purpose for contribution to change better no experience for me I do interrogations for the summer autumn the winter for the summer such agitato for the autumn once again soft for the winter agitato also state già for season so più praticamente as a grease it is for me was figure so the coupling yes we can say that practically since a week yes a week it is we officially yes for us officially started spring in fact 8 days ago because since 8 days ago we have this beautiful degrees temperature climate so the perfect climate temperature degrees for here for this city and so yes and if for me already entered in the previous day a bit March 20th let's say that even if in those days before in fact until March 20th before these 8 days until March 20th was still cold I don't feel cold for the fact that perhaps no I think I see also in my winter weather what the person not live here so but yes thanks to the fact that I feel cold extra più thanks to the fact I feel follow and do some practice but to practice material which always start to cold and so do thanks to the practice I don't feel cold yes in comparison to the people I repeat less than people avere in genere CPU for me would ripeto di spring for us start really on practically 7 days ago instead what has got also to see for sure something just for it's really beautiful this seems so can be some things this Gary Duff, mi think at temperature is for 6x to Fahrenheit 19 Celsius. But importing questa atmosphere anticipated. See for today, yeah, oh, it's beautiful. Blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone, have a great day. I don't know if this is the tone to which Miss Lynch mentioned the blue skies and golden sunshine is whatever also to she ended closed is what reports of yes blue skies sunshine also near behind my head near behind me or my head and yes you can see most of the things in this video, thanks to the fact that for the conscience between hours and film shot with the parts, but also the other periods and other seasons, generally film is hours at 6 hours, maximum hours later, and also the fact that in this video, the session material in this city, also near beyond this palace, or yes, until now, and now the three things is session in particular, the fact that first thing is the fact now sing better, sing and extract better refrain from classical Korean song, also let me because he think it's became a bit of a man, less person, as I follow me, less person, I think on a boy. So, manato sola, più bello ne, o sole mie, s'affronta te. O sole mie, s'affronta te, si s'affronta mia, noi abbiamo s'affronta te. Ah, yes, ma che musica ovviamente this is a continual fact section su cui notato di live almeno tu più di da summa section con senza things fact la persona di questi casi impossibile più di la che io sto qui sito. Adesso until now sans capito non si ripisce George fa una lite sono 2 weeks ago e lo so che da dire mi non sono vedendo sans che fare for other for other and 30 minutes is maximum more or less in comparison con the so completely different time according to my judgment we I also can use the machine but in general say time well so lui what 14 flash long flash mi mix to plan si un cortin sessa me va magari insomma posso barsi breve questo in particolare da partì only for sono in situazione per questo cose beautiful grey cortini beautiful painted way branch stato di bello pass fatto una cortini e l'ultimo sei tre metri secondo ma come secondo section it's point to the first one to fortuna one of them serie come section and if you consider that still well for shot near enemy one side one and if you yes sì influence on the fact Mr. Plants erano infatti finotti e betta cioè betta sono sciolti per essere questa parte del video per Rucia sciolti lui due trascattazioni generali fammi scazzi come due scazzi mi ricordo ma cosa sa sono lo so la mia una mi ricordo ma Or from a broad perspective, some result per shot in mezzo, classico shot film interesse voi, fino a te che lì non avevamo altro studio, si scioglie bene armato, se fino a te facilita per tre bit scioglie bene armato, tu fate per scuotere i bit, beautiful che urtino, beautiful painted, qui branch sarà posto fare questa sostiene, storia pazzo, care urtini, fino a te per che salti, ma carting se con amici, cioè stil con care urtine, ora quando sono in Italia, scegli tu e vuoi saying, these shots su sorriti, su fact, buffo when reset, e loro scioglie lo so, nisi, ma tomorrow when this craft crisi meglio, la storia da little speech or sentence, per cortini bit, beautiful grey curtain, beautiful pentapes, I repeat once again, beautiful grey curtain, beautiful pentapes, also in case for the first story person, color curtain, also in case I repeat once again, color curtain, also in case I repeat once again, yes, non remember exactly this, and now also in case I see any tos for the curtain, so I repeat expression, also in case for 5 times, and so there is little speech or sentences, but also and always better visible for me, need sentire, in this shot, tipo di simile con la genere shot. Carico riuscito in attivismo, significa attivismo per stesso last october, in sportatore sport e tutto il attivismo è una storia di test picture senza support attivo non solito, so repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, needs sentire di ring shot at once again, shot. And finally, Roman di goalkeeper, Jax, mi forte PG, 6 also this me, shot. Ma che ti non people the reports essere la critica d'ora, non sono problemi sistemi. Non sono mai serve, lo so che è finally, poi una great breakfast. It's late in general, sono assolutamente late in information. Any system business system, that one fucking took a system, for the system late in general for the people, all for money, or to for not at all for money also. For us, kind of start to money, make breakfast is ours, but in the winter period, when the summer general is February, less than since March and April, it's a month since spring until once again next summer general, except from those days in which I really, I get up really late, not the case of today, I guess it's late, ma te bovoli in parte satisfatti from the regular, ci sembra to sudden fucking max. Internet situita, si intende apertamente in chimica, ti intende in parte mente di cose estere, si intende regole di reason te, su straccio. Vado di vito, vado di close di carriera, detto sono no, ti sembra no. More not yes, just you. They're just really obviously just in quote 13 and 12. Minus. But, in particolare, se ne siete insieme in uso dei forti minuti sono, americani, da, sa, we almost say. Ekvas most beautiful for absolutely. And as you know, since partecipanti in Romania, scelgono in Romania, I also sto punto in riflettore quick but breakfast for all the reason Fridays, si continui si creso usual dark blue and so what in Portugal sono le forze posso forse sempre white when if that's because light blue and white è also rare aspects versus one second so reports beh es riguardo in Italia I think abbiamo using this week vai tinte fare dei gol fatti che 29 es should be tinte fare gol team sta perhaps non fare non fare su report finché un borio sono one c'è un riso da cosa adesso dice should be done mio but I promise you to one year one time sono in Italia ci penso per presidente di just the things in speech should you so Friday for design un shot for design un shot so bisogno di gioco sul combatto maroni anzi come sono for design biscuits and effect fak la men bijou come su bijou biscuits and sias ma te finché tavano mezzo centimetro kan stabs a chocolate chip cookies of the cookies chip chocolate chips hai fatto mi seguo su effetto bisu miserlinch But in particular, things that you said, and this one, it's about milk fact to use shots non che ti coffee usi, ma tu sei quick chocolate fact as you can notice, non shot fragmenti video, so shot release, and if last thing che ten the months, sono che sia lo sto conto, should be this in the time be, so ne touch better, si bet su better, the was, the money quick to finish, now you don't see to 27, 20, 39, 40 years, so che prati result for some easy, months mentioned, before repeat, should be 10, if not 10, the months, but should 10 months, only one of them, and so it's sullo sto conto should be this time the beginning so that should be better and so since at the moment the pattern certi once che nemico so per news and we need also fake news back fast ora se abbiamo sempre pastire in particolare mega ma poi o se ne si spiro ciò it's a joke di solito il combattimento Romania so poi corsi amici in first time so capito mi facciamo non so che tu le cose back fast a lui è mega bomba e se continua se potesse mi farebbe stessa la cona di talenzias mi sarà sempre in posizione proprio su executive davanti quindi da palma da fisi presa position but in general well single presa position because attraverso questa position mi tale palma da shock in far questo tu recommendo tu because they are really superb Adesso, tomorrow suppose if I'm trying, if I can't tomorrow to lebe. Now I see. And now she's doing the better repeat things for last time, because she things as just before the first thing that was saying before the Shani can see today live in here, being totally is beautiful, need that supply as Shani content sense. Second thing it was the third as before the persona repeats in this is impossible. Una beautiful little kiss to kiss Shani so kiss it once again. And also a petit, really sublime in content sense. But I kiss it once again, also petit other times was yes. Once again, because yes, it's really sublime repeating content sense.